and welcome to the Wolfchase Toyota Insider. I'm Jeff Brightwell, and I'm joined by Richard Mulrooney. And Coach, the season has come to an end. Unfortunately, you get the loss in the semifinals of the conference tournament. It's one of those things in a conference tournament match where things can come at a team really quick.
Yeah, proud of the guys making it. Obviously didn't make it to the last game of the year. And not only that, to finish third. So good way to do it. But yeah, like you said, we got into the dance and we sort of tripped over our own feet. And, credit to UCF. They were firing on all cylinders. And we just picked a really bad day to not necessarily have play well as a team. And then individually, I think we just struggled all around and they took advantage of that. So, props to them. But at the same time, disappointing for us to finish that way. But it shouldn't take away from the fact that, one of our goals was to make the conference tournament after missing it in the spring and in the previous fall as well. So, again, there's a lot of positives out of it. Didn't necessarily want to end that way, but in saying that, we can still build upon this because there were a lot of positives, as I just mentioned.
Well, I know you're in the midst of player meetings early this week. What kind of sense do you get from the guys as you talk about the season as a whole, getting off to such a slow start, but then the back half of the season? I know it's disappointing. It's still probably pretty fresh, the loss to UCF, but I'm sure they got to take a lot out of the back half of that season.
We did. 6-1 to start, and then 0-2 in the conference, and then boom, you start seeing the team just starting to gel on and off the field. Like you said, I wish there was another third to the season, and maybe that would be good enough to get us maybe an at-large bid. But in saying that, every game matters, every game counts, and we realize that this year the way we started, and a lot of teams did as well. Like I said, Tulsa ended up winning it, and rightfully so, to finish 9-1 in our conference and to obviously win the conference tournament. They're going to represent us in the NCAA tournament. And I would probably think that's the only one. Although, like I said, I think anybody would, they're fortunate enough to not get 2 or 3 teams from our conference, but that's not the way it works. And for us specifically, lessons learned. If you look at our roster, we had a lot of freshmen, COVID freshmen, but freshmen, some sophomores playing. So we were a young team. But we gelled as it went on, but we're going to need this spring to, get minutes to guys that maybe didn't get necessarily a ton of minutes this fall, and to recruit and just do the things that we didn't get to do this last spring because we were in a real season. And, over the summer we had that 2 or 3 month break and then we're back at it. So again, happy about it all. The fact that playing games is always better than canceling seasons. But, this program, for my staff and myself really need to sit down and figure out the direction or fine tune the direction that we're going, because we're going in the right direction. We've enjoyed it, but we also want to get over that hump. We made the conference tournament. We've been to the conference semis a couple times now. What do we have to do to get in that final? What do we have to do to win it? And obviously the other little things such as starting the season off correctly, so on and so forth. So a lot of things to figure out, but we figured out a lot of things this fall that we had question marks going into. So it's not dire straits by any means, but just like every other program, you want to figure out how to make that jump up to the next level and even higher than that, so we can, still be playing at this time next year.
What's the offseason going to be like? Because you go from spring to fall due to COVID, and it was just such a quick turnaround. But now, especially to the newcomers to college soccer, probably it's going to seem like forever till you guys play again next fall.
It will. The freshmen that were here last year won't know the difference of the spring not really having a season. But, we have 5 play dates. We'll fill those with, local opponents or anybody that's coming to town, maybe travel a little bit. 901 has always given us a game as well. But at the end of the day, it's about us, our training habits, and continuing to build that culture up. Like I said, we made massive strides forward this year compared to last spring to this fall. Our locker room got better individually and collectively. There was accountability. And we want to continue that because I think that's a big piece of the game. And it doesn't necessarily win you 5 or 6 games, but it might win you 1 or 2 when there's a little adversity on the table, so on and so forth. So continue to work on that. And then, like I said, just have some individual training as well, for guys that just didn't have necessarily the time during the season when you have that Friday, Wednesday, Sunday matches. You really can't get on the field and grind it out and really push guys just because the most important thing are the games. And now moving into the spring, well, we have some time now to build them up mentally, physically. Obviously, John's going to work with them in the strength and conditioning department. So it's a much needed break. And when I say break, it's not a break, but more so than just getting prepared for the 2022 NCAA championships for next fall. And that's what we're gunning to get ready for.
All right. Well, Coach, great run at the end of the season. We look forward to the next season. I'm sure we'll catch up with you during the late fall or early spring.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate all that you do for us.
That is Richard Mulrooney. I'm Jeff Brightwell with the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network.